Time for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news on KALH, weather always comes first. A Pacific storm's going to move through the western U.S. today and tomorrow with areas of heavy mountain snow, gusty to high winds, and lower elevation rain. Ahead of this storm, gusty winds and dry conditions over much of the central and southern plains will contribute to widespread critical fire weather conditions both today and tomorrow. Closer to home, upper ridge over the area is going to lead to quiet weather today, but a new Pacific storm moves in tomorrow. With it, strong winds and blowing dust and critical fire weather conditions. It's going to calm back down on Wednesday and last until the weekend with just some breezy afternoons. We'll have another look at the weather following this news.
This is Range Control. Roadblock information for Monday, March 17th. Roadblocks are subject to change without notice. Highway 70, Highway 380, Owen Road, Nike Avenue, and Ward Highway are scheduled to remain open all day.
With the arrival of fire weather, we check in now with Lieutenant William Skaggs of the Alamogordo Fire Department.
This is Lieutenant William Skaggs with Alamogordo Fire Department. Alamogordo Fire Department urges all residents and visitors to remain vigilant and take extra precautions in light of the current dry conditions and heightened fire dangers. Some key fire safety tips for our community are: avoid using open flames outdoors, including barbecues, fire pits, or any other burning. Always ensure fire rings or barbecue pits are properly managed and avoid using them in windy conditions. Proper disposal of cigarettes. If smoking, make sure to fully extinguish cigarettes and dispose of them in a safe, non-flammable container. Never discard cigarette butts on the ground or in dry areas. Vehicle safety. Avoid parking vehicles on dry grass or areas with tall vegetation, as hot exhaust pipes could spark fires. Be mindful of equipment use. Ensure that lawnmowers, chainsaws, and any equipment that could generate sparks are used with caution and not in windy conditions. Check equipment regularly for safety. Stay informed. Follow local fire restrictions and guidelines, and remain alert to any updates or emergency notifications issued by local authorities. The fire risk in Alamogordo is high due to ongoing dry conditions. The Lincoln National Forest Service has already put restrictions in place to prevent wildfires, and similar precautions should be observed within the city limits. Together, we can keep Alamogordo safe. Please stay alert and practice fire safety at all times.
A district court judge has ruled there is enough evidence to move forward with a murder case against Otero County Sheriff's Deputy Jacob Diaz-Austin. In June of 2024, as you know, the deputy was responding to a welfare check after a 17-year-old was seen walking along the highway near Mescalero. Diaz-Austin stopped to speak with the teen, later identified as Elijah Hadley. Dashcam video shows Hadley toss a BB gun to the side as the deputy opened fire. That occurred near simultaneously. The Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office, which is prosecuting this case, says Hadley was shot 15 times and suffered multiple cuts. The DA's office presented video, photo, and testimonial evidence, leading Judge Angie Schneider to rule that there is enough evidence to proceed with the first-degree murder charge against the deputy. An unforeseen water break occurred underground on New York Avenue at 10th on Thursday. This water break necessitates some additional work to correct this issue, and as a result, 10th Street and New York Avenue is going to be closed for the next couple of weeks as the water line is replaced for eastbound 10th at the intersection of 10th and New York. This additional time, as well as the withholding of traffic during this period, is necessary to allow the concrete to cure for at least 7 days. This past Thursday at 2:09 p.m., the Alamogordo Police Department, Alamogordo Fire Department, and AMR Alamogordo responded to 1401 South White Sands Boulevard regarding a possible fire structure. Fire crews observed heavy smoke coming from the north side of that structure and later located a fire in a room on the first floor of the structure. Fire operations were put into place and the fire was suppressed with the assistance of Otero County Office of Emergency Services and the Holloman Fire Department, who responded for mutual aid. 26-year-old Talia Hodge, a homeless resident of Alamogordo, was located leaving the area of the fire. Hodge later admitted to officers and investigators that she had started that fire. She was taken into custody and charged with 1 count of negligent arson, which is a 4th-degree felony. Hodge was transported to the Otero County Detention Center and pending her appearance in Otero County Magistrate Court. The Village of Tularosa is having a special meeting this afternoon at 4 p.m. You can see the meeting agenda on villageoftularosa.com. Well, today is Monday. That means we get an update from Animal Village NM.
Hi, this is Sunny Harris, Animal Village NM, with exciting information about how you can Pay It Forward locally. It's our Pay It Forward auction. allowing you to bid for a better future locally. Spring is a time of renewal, fresh starts, and new beginnings. What better way to celebrate than by giving pets a chance at a better life? On March 20th, the first day of spring, Animal Village NM launches our Spay It Forward auction, raising funds for low-income spay and neuter services locally. With New Mexico having the highest pet abandonment rate in the country, this is how we stop the cycle of suffering before it starts. You can help while bidding on some truly extraordinary treasures. What's in the auction? We've gathered an incredible collection of more than 50 pieces and sets of Native American jewelry featuring stunning precious stones like turquoise, coral, amethyst, tiger eye, carnelian, and more. And for those of you like me who love the deeper meaning behind their gems, we've even posted their special qualities and energies so you can find the one that truly speaks to you. And they've all been appraised by Mitchell's Jewelry in Ruidoso. But that's just the beginning. Teeny tiny vintage and antique Limoges boxes, more than 50 exquisite collectible pieces, turned wood bowls with inlaid coral, unique handcrafted beauty in framed art and antiques, carefully curated and waiting for new homes, jade foo dogs with a puppy. Don't worry, they've been spayed and neutered now. A stunning symbolic piece of protection and luck, and so much more. How do you bid? All auction details, including item previews and bidding instructions, will be available on our social media pages and on our website at animalvillagenm.org. animalvillagenm.org. So mark your calendars for midnight, March 20th, and get ready to bid generously, because every dollar helps local spay and neuter pets in need. Helps local pets in need of spay and neuter. Why does this auction matter? Because every unplanned litter contributes to the overwhelming number of homeless pets struggling to survive in New Mexico. Shelters are full and rescues can't save them all, so spaying and neutering is the only way to prevent suffering before it starts. This auction directly funds low-cost spay-neuter surgeries for pets of low-income families, helping them be responsible, keep their beloved pets, and reduce the number of abandoned animals. So help us spay it forward. Bid, share, spread the word. Together we can change lives, one pet at a time. The auction begins midnight, March 20th. Check out the link that will be available on our website at animalvillagenm.org. Follow us on social media.
News from around the state in just a moment. You're listening to Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
From basic to advanced computer repairs, it's GalacticGeeksPCRepair.com. Local business owned and operated by Greg Gutierrez. Available for on-site work from 9 to 6 daily. Installations, upgrades, even virus repair. For information, email Greg at GalacticGeeksPCRepair.com. Google IT support, professionally certified.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a phone book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything.
Look on the plus side, Directory Plus.
I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
Local news from local perspectives, from local voices. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Local sports, local events, and local happenings and more. Nonprofit owned and operated by Second Life Media. We are Otero County. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Heard daily on Crazy KALH Radio 95.1.
Yesterday, a protest broke out at University of New Mexico where students demanded the release of a former Columbia University student who was recently detained by federal immigration services. College campuses across the country are protesting for the release of Muhammad Khalil. 2 weeks ago, the Department of Homeland Security agents arrested Khalil, saying he was a critical figure in last year's student-led anti-war protests at Columbia. The U.S. Secretary of State says they are basing their attempt to deport Khalil on the Immigration and Nationality Act, which permits the government to deport someone they believe could cause harm to U.S. foreign policy interests. Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
If you end up having a green card, not citizenship, but a green card as a result of that visa while you're here in those activities, we're going to kick you out. It's as simple as that. This is not about free speech.
President Trump called Khalil a terrorist sympathizer and accuses him of handing out Hamas propaganda. Earlier this week, Khalil's lawyers argued this was political retaliation from the Trump administration. A warrant has been issued for the woman sentenced for stabbing a Santa Fe wildland firefighter to death back in 2019. Christine Sanchez has been accused of stabbing and killing Christian Reed at an apartment complex in February 2019. Sanchez told police Reed threatened her with a knife, so she stabbed him to death. Police arrested Sanchez in 2022 following a robbery. Prosecutors then charged her with killing Reed. In October 2023, she pled no contest to voluntary manslaughter. In August, Judge Lucy Solomon amended the sentence of 2 years in jail to include going through drug court. She got out of jail on January 6th and then had to go through drug court. Court documents indicate that she didn't show up for drug court, so now she faces additional jail time for that violation. A bill aimed at covering specific time off for medical leave in the state has died in committee. House Bill 11 was in the Senate Finance Committee Saturday morning, with many speaking in support and against that bill. The bill would have permitted workers 6 weeks of paid time off when having to care for loved ones, and workers would be required to pay into a state fund with 0.5% coming from their wages. Businesses with 5 or more employees would pay 0.4%. Supporters say it was a safety net for the workforce. Critics have been arguing that it would raise costs for small businesses, hurting them in the long run, as well as posing legal issues. The bill died on an 8-3 vote, and this would have been the final committee before heading to the Senate floor for a full vote. 2 children were transported to a Las Cruces hospital as a result of injuries from a bouncy house incident that took place on Saturday. The bouncy house was picked up by the wind into the air. Police have not yet confirmed how high the bouncy house was lifted. 2 children were identified to be in that house when it was airborne, a 10-year-old and a 3-year-old. Airlift was requested at the scene, but unable to take off due to the high winds. Scientists are studying the 60-million-year-old remains of a very early resident of New Mexico. Dr. Thomas Williamson of the New Mexico Museum of Natural History and Science spoke with KRQE.
This was a tree-dwelling mammal, probably weighed 2 or 3 pounds. So it would have been bigger than your typical squirrel that you would see around here.
Mixodectites lived about 4 million years after most of the dinosaurs died off. A skeleton was found near Farmington, which at the time was a tropical forest. The remains showed traits similar to modern primates, and Dr. Williamson said he had help tracking down the critter.
I drove them up there on a weekend, and we went fossil hunting, and my kids, who were 10 years old at the time, they're twins, we were looking around and one of them stumbled upon this site.
The area between Farmington and Cuba is known as one of the best places in the world to find fossils from this ancient era. Sports and weather are coming up next. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
They are role models and educators. Their work requires a great deal of time and energy for very little pay. Who are these unsung heroes?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
The simple truth about education-based athletics in New Mexico is this. Without a committed team of coaches and administrators, they just wouldn't be possible. School sports, they bring out the best in all of us. This message presented by the New Mexico Activities Association and the New Mexico Athletic Directors Association.
There are 13 games for New Mexico softball today, including Eunice at Dexter, also Socorro at Mesilla Valley Christian, and 7 games for New Mexico baseball today, including Redoso at Robertson. Your Crazy Radio spot on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for mostly sunny skies, winds gusting up to 21 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy tonight, winds gusting up to 23. Red flag warning in effect for tomorrow from 11 until 9. Sunny, windy, and cooler. Widespread blowing dust with winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. Your high today in the basin, 78. Low tonight of 50. High tomorrow, 68 degrees. In Cloudcroft, mostly sunny, winds gusting up to 33 miles per hour today. Tonight, partly cloudy and windy, winds gusting up to 43. A red flag warning is in effect for tomorrow from 11 until 9. Sunny, windy, and cooler. Widespread blowing dust with winds gusting up to 70 miles per hour. Your high today for Cloudcroft, 59. Low tonight of 37. Wind chill's going to make it feel like it's 27. High tomorrow, 47. Wind chill's going to make it feel like it's 23 degrees. Local breaking news can be found on our website, alamogordotownnews.org, and learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting KALHradio.org. Also check out the Crazy KALH Radio YouTube channel. That's where we post our daily newscasts, complete interviews, and other information which concerns everyone in the Tularosa Basin. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you've not done so already. That way you too can remain informed of the goings-on in the Tularosa Basin. And that concludes today's edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.